Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. And yeah, the curls look a little bit different today. I'm trying some different products in my hair because my curls will not last for longer than like 2 days. By day two, after like wash day, it just does not look the same. So I tried doing like a mousse and just doing some like gel in my hair. So we're just trying some stuff out, seeing what's gonna work in my hair. So Netflix just came out with a documentary called Fit for TV, the reality of The Biggest Loser. If you guys are way too young for this show, The Biggest Loser was a reality competition show on, I don't even know what network. It was NBC. I should know. I literally just finished watching the documentary. It was NBC and it was a weight loss related show, and it had obese people on it losing weight rapidly. And it came out like a few years ago of the contestants now gaining weight back. It's had a lot of controversy. Controversy. You guys know what I'm trying to say throughout the years, but people really ate up the show. And there's just been a lot of things coming out. Apparently, one of the trainers was giving the contestants on her team caffeine pills, which, if you know, caffeine pills, caffeine will speed up the metabolism to make you lose weight even faster. What is really concerning, as for me, somebody who has gone through a weight loss journey, if you're new to my channel, hi, I've gone through a weight loss journey using Fentanyl, an FDA approved weight loss pill. Been trying to lose weight now or maintain weight with Topramate as well. Stopped doing Fentanyl, and you can watch more about all of that on my channel here. I have a bunch of videos about it and like how much I've lost and stuff like that. So you can go through my videos down below, go through my channel. So I have personally done this with the help of a doctor and going through it with the supervision of a doctor. And this is why I advocate for you guys to, if you guys want to lose weight, always do it with supervision of a doctor. Um, so, yes. So, there was a lot of extreme dangers with this show, as we see from the very beginning of this documentary, that the contestants would lose like 10 plus pounds per week. And that is really unhealthy because that is what we call rapid weight loss. What is sustainable is 1 to 2 pounds per week, to keep off the weight. And so this is partially the reason why a lot of the contestants are now gaining back weight. So that, I won't lie, was very like triggering for me to see, because I'm like, that is just insanely unhealthy. Um so yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard for me to watch because of just all the unhealthy things that were going on. So that's something that was very triggering for me to watch. Um, there's a point where one of the contestants, Tracy, like literally died on the show. That's when we get introduced to the doctor on the show, and episode two actually talks about doctor's perspective on the show. And I'm so grateful that Tracy was the one to really listen to the doctor and be like, hey, you cannot train with Bob and Julian in the gym. And so the insane thing is, these people were working out like 6 to like 8 hours a day in the gym, which, unless you are an athlete, um, that's unrealistic for a lot of average Americans. Because the thing is, you do that on the show, and then you go back to normal life of working and stuff. And yeah. you're gonna obviously, your metabolism is going to start like slowing down, whatever. And they talk about that in episode 3, and it's going to just start slowly like gaining. You're gonna slowly start to gain weight. Um, so that was something else that they talked about. This is going to be all over the place because I just finished this whole thing. And so, yeah, that was something that also like went down. So this whole thing was really triggering because the whole idea was to get America to see that America had a whole problem with obesity and to see how the old fashioned way of diet and exercise can really help you improve your health. Now, this is really true, however, not in the way that was being shown on this television show because they were doing it in a very unrealistic way. They were even using temptation for the contestants, like literally showing them cake and, all the typical junk food to help them lose the weight, whatever, in challenges. And that's just literally unrealistic. There's an author on this program. How old am I? I'm 26, almost 27. Um, on the show that talks about it, and she happens to be like obese and stuff, and just talks about how like unrealistic all of this is. She said a really good quote too that I wish I would have written down. Oh, she said it was something on the lines of like, as somebody who is obese or even overweight, because those are two very different things. Um, Nothing in your life is going to be celebrated as much as losing weight. And I can 100% like vouch for this because I don't feel like anything in my life has been celebrated as much as me going through a weight loss journey, unfortunately. And so I felt that in my soul. And that's why it's so sad and there's a lot of guilt for when you do start gaining weight back. I am not the same person than of what I was when I was at my lightest. And so I've definitely like gained weight back after, going through my whole journey. And the thing is, it's still a journey. It's not ending. I really do like hope to lose some more weight. I'm definitely working on this mentally with my therapist. Um, and I should probably be more honest with my therapist about this. But like what's so hard for me to see is the fact that I see it in my face a lot. I see my face getting like chubbier, and it does take me back to when I was at my biggest and my face being like really chubby. But I know like I don't look the same as when I was at my heaviest. But I know my face doesn't look as thin as when I was at my lightest. And so they do talk about the guilt and stuff in the third episode as well. So going episode by episode, in season one, it's really like why they all went onto this show. And a lot of it was to fix external problems. One person, I think it's Tracy, who talks about she wants to go on it because she wants to fix her marriage. And it's like, girl, losing weight is not the thing that's going to fix your marriage. Um, there's other people that talk about things that, again, are external problems as well. I think there's one African American woman who talk about it to actually help with health reasons. And I'm like, yeah, that's what the correct thing to do is. is to lose weight to help you with a health issue. I don't think you need to be losing weight to um, be trying to solve marriage problems, family problems, all that kind of stuff. Losing weight really needs to be for you and a health reason. And now that I say that, I believe one woman did also want to lose weight because she just recently got the diagnosis of being um, type 2 diabetic. And so that's why she wanted to lose weight, was to like reverse that. And I was like, yeah, that's why, a good reason why to start going on a weight loss journey. Um, so yeah, one thing that was really triggering from the start for me was that they were using the term overweight instead of obese. Because I've talked about in my previous videos that when we talk about obesity, there's a type of person that we picture in our head. And honestly, these are the kind of people that we get brought to our heads, that get brought to our heads. Is these really big, like wide kind of people. And so they kept saying like overweight. And I'm like, yeah, that's not overweight. That's like morbidly obese. And a lot of these contestants start out like over 200 pounds. Um, I think most of them probably start out over like 230 pounds. So, I mean, that's more than likely being like morbidly obese. So, yeah, season 1, episode 1 just kind of talks about why they're all kind of doing it. Um, if they kind of have a food problem at the beginning, all that kind of stuff. Season 2 is when we bring along the doctors and their opinions on it. They do talk about how low their calorie intake was. So most of them, their calorie intake was like 800 calories, which is extremely low. Now, personally, I've gone really low on calorie intake, but for me, my height is 4'11", and short people, I believe, have a really slow like metabolism as is. Um, I'm gonna fact check that real quick. Yes, so okay. So according to AI, it's true that shorter people tend to have a lower basal metabolic rate, the number of calories burned at rest than taller people. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a slower overall metabolism. Um, Taller individuals generally have a higher BMR because they have more body mass and larger organs requiring more energy to function at rest. Mhm. So it sounds like, too, just reading on, a shorter person with a higher portion of muscle mass may have higher BMR than a taller person with less muscle. So it definitely depends on like muscle mass, I guess. But anywho, like I'm 4'11". I would say my metabolism is actually quite slow because I don't do any like weightlifting and stuff. I probably really should. That would probably help actually lose the weight. Um, So for me, probably like 800 calories would be a better caloric intake, possibly. But yeah, they explained how low their calories were, and for people like them, that was really dangerous. So I really loved the doctor. I'm talking way too fast. The doctor on this. I think he was a really good doctor, and he really did have them, all of them, at you know their best interest at heart. And he really advised like the best way to go about it. What really sucked was the trainers did not agree with him ever. And so that was really bad. Like the trainers really didn't listen because it was the trainers like diet and how they wanted to exercise them and whatever. Um so yeah, there was another doctor who wasn't like associated with the show as well talking about it, and I thought that was really cool because she also had her own weight loss journey as well. And so it was really cool to hear her story, and really heartbreaking too, of hearing that when she was in class, them talking about sexual activity, and how one of the boys, you know, they were shown different kind of people like having sexual acts, and one of them was an obese person, and how one of the boys literally in front of her was like, ew, that's disgusting. And of course he would never say that to her face. Meanwhile, she was directly behind him, and that really hurt her. And so that was one of her reasonings to like lose weight and stuff. So that was like absolutely heartbreaking. And yeah, so they had a good variety of people on their part of the show, not a part of the show, really talking about the influence of what it had on the media at the time, and honestly, its influence on the world at the time. And then season three. Why am I still doing this, you guys? I had a scratchy throat yesterday, and I honestly started taking like cold medicine. My friend and her kids were up um, over the week, and my body was not used to being around like small children, especially a toddler that doesn't have an immune system. So I apologize. But anyways, episode 3 is when we kind of wrap it up, and they start talking about like them gaining weight back. And so kind of how long it took to gain the weight back. The guy who lost the most out of all the seasons, he really talks about how long it took to gain the weight back, what that did mentally to him a little bit. And honestly, overall in this show, not a lot of talk about like mental health during this show, which I kind of wish they would talk more about, because when you're going through this huge change physically, it definitely has an effect on you mentally. Obviously, I know this was mid 2000s, early 2000s. It went for a long time to like 2010. And so I definitely know like mental health was not talked about, but I really wish that um, in this documentary they would have talked about mental health. And so that's kind of the review on the whole show itself in a nutshell. Um, I'm not a fan of it personally. I'm not a fan of rapid weight loss. I will always advocate for, if you want to go through a weight loss journey, to do it with your doctor, because you don't know the harm that you're putting onto your body. I honestly would be so curious for the women to talk about like how that affected them with their periods, because I would just be so curious about that. Um, like, did their periods stop? Was it delayed? What was the situation? I mean, one of the women talked about how the whole reason why she went on the show was that she couldn't have a family, and so she wanted to lose the weight so she could have a family. So after she lost all the weight, she was actually able to have a child, which is awesome. But yeah, I really wonder like what happened to them, to the women specifically regarding that like area, because yeah, with that much weight loss, I just am really curious. So I'd be really curious too with the men, just like reproductive wise, like yeah. Anyways, so I'm definitely not a fan of that show and what it did to people. The also abuse from the trainers I don't like. I don't think Bob or whatever was as bad as Jillian. I think Jillian was awful. I know that that's just like her branding and stuff. I would love to see who she is like beyond that, and like when the cameras are off and stuff. But yeah, if you want to go through a weight loss journey, please do not follow the example of Biggest Loser. Please, please, please talk to your physician about it if you are able to talk to a physician about it. Um, and go through it that way, because it's so much more than just simply losing weight. There's a lot more to it, and it does affect your entire body. So I really hope this video made sense, you guys. It's a little bit all over the place. Like I said, I kind of feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something, which I really don't want to have another sinus infection. I feel like I just got over one like less than a month ago. And so, yeah, I haven't done a video in a while. I won't lie though, watching this documentary did make me want to like jump on the treadmill, because I haven't really worked out at all. And unfortunately, when my friend was up here, we were eating out a ton. And I'm definitely just, it's slowly getting better eating out while I'm working. It's just, it's difficult when you are on the go all the time, because your job is literally to be driving clients around, and it's just kind of go, 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 especially your Monday schedule when you have 3 clients back to back and you kind of can't figure out how to like heat up your lunch in your car. But anyways, that's a whole story for another video. If you guys like this video, if it made any sense, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications. It's over here. Hit the bell for notifications. I post every weekend. And I will talk to you guys all later. Bye. I will let you guys all know that I do have my neuro. Oh my goodness. I have my neuro evaluation coming up in 2 weeks. Sorry, guys. I'm still catching up on sleep after being with the kids, too. So that video will be coming out shortly once I do the testing and we get results back from that. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an awesome week. It's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be 100 degrees on Wednesday, and I'm not looking forward to it. But stay safe, you guys. Make sure you're talking to your doctor about what you're doing, just so you can stay safe and healthy. And I will talk to you guys all later. Bye. I'm gonna work on my English because not really there right now. Okay, bye.